And now, James and Stu present the Top Turnbuckle Podcast. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Top Turnbuckle Podcast with myself, Stu, and...
with James.
This week we'll be discussing our top 3 most underrated wrestlers and top underrated match. Going to be a nice little topic to discuss. We've already had a bit of a chat before we've started recording, and we'll be reading out some comments as well that left for us on our social media pages as well. And I'd like to say thank you in advance for everyone that's commented. It's been a fantastic feedback, some superb comments, some comical ones as well. But I'm sure we'll get to that in due course. So, right, let's get started with our first topic, our top 3 underrated wrestlers. Go for it.
Okay.
Hit me with your first one.
First of all, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everybody on the Facebook page. It has been tremendous. I've enjoyed everyone's comments.
Same here.
They've been fantastic.
Yeah.
Should we give the high flyer out?
Yes, yeah. Go
Let's
for
give
it.
the high flyer
go for the question
out,
winner first.
okay?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay, so the high flyer was put out yesterday, and it was, apart from their WWE careers and their successful careers in other promotions, what do Kurt Hennig, Rick Martel, and Jerry Lawler have in common? And I thought this was going to be tough for everyone, you know.
It was for me.
Yeah. But
I tapped out straight away. I had no clue.
But the mastermind, Jonathan Coote,
Well done, Johnny.
got it within an hour, and it is that they were all former AWA champions.
So for that answer, Johnny, well done. You get a round of applause from us.
Yeah, he is a great guy. On the Facebook page, he is completely active. Just a great mind for the business and everything like that.
I'm sure we've stated at some point that we will get in touch with you, Johnny, at some point, and we'd love to have you on an episode as well for your back knowledge of wrestling industry, taking part in it yourself. And I think you'd be a great element just to have on as an episode. So if you're listening, as and when you do, drop us a message and we'll see if we can sort that out as and when you're available.
Yeah, I'd really just like to sit down and shoot the shit with him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really would.
Right,
Okay, so I'll start with the first most underrated wrestler. Now, this guy, he had unlimited potential. And unfortunately, it was cut short because of a car accident. Mm-hmm. This guy would have been an absolute megastar. The NWA and WCW would have been an absolute powerhouse. The guy's name is Magnum TA. His real name, Terry Allen.
It was a huge eye-opener to me because I will be very honest, as we discussed before we recorded, I'm not clued up at all on Magnum TA. James has showed us a couple of links beforehand on YouTube with some of his previous work and performances. It's outstanding. From what you showed us earlier, the guy had such amazing charisma.
Yeah, for the 80s, he was, for the women and that aspect, he was a better...
bit of eye candy.
Yeah, he was a better looking Hogan, really.
Yeah.
But what separates him from people like Goldberg, who was pushed to the moon...
Or ring post.
Yeah. I'm going to save that for another day because we have just watched Elimination Chamber, or I have, and I have watched what's gone down.
We'll save that for another.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another topic.
I was annoyed there was no interference from a certain inanimate object setting up a WrestleMania match.
Versus the ring post.
Yeah, if everyone remembers, we will go into it. Why not? Let's segue.
Yeah.
So, if everyone remembers, the match with The Undertaker, the ring post played a heavy
part, shall we say?
Yeah. Part in that match.
It was like the third opponent in the match.
Yeah, it was a triple threat.
Unofficial.
It's a triple threat, and Goldberg went to. I don't even like to call it a spear because it was crazy.
It's bad.
He hit the ring post. Basically, the ring post counted it.
Oh, the ring post.
And he
knew
knocked
what
him
was
out.
coming.
So I basically wanted to see a rematch between the two. I thought it would be fantastic. Yeah, WrestleMania. My money is on the ring post.
Yeah, I'm not sure if William Hill were going to take odds on that one, but
no,
it'd be worth sticking a fiver on it. Oh.
So yeah, anyway, going back
We've
to
massively gone off topic already.
Going back to Magnum TA, well, it's quite good. It's because this is quite a sad story.
Yeah, really. I had no clue about any of this, as I said a little while ago, and it is very, very sad.
Yeah. So in 1986. Just before we talk about his career, he was involved in a car crash and he was paralysed. He was speeding a little bit and lost control of the car and wrapped it round a telephone pole. Mm. He was paralysed from the waist down. And this guy would have gone on to be a world champion without any shadow of a doubt. He was scheduled to face Ric Flair at a Starrcade. It would have been Starrcade 87.
Wow. Jesus. God, yeah, go back a few years.
Yeah, so if you think about it, with the Hogan and him coming up,
that would.
You had Hulkamania, and it would have been versus Magnum TA's popularity, and the whole landscape would have changed. Ric Flair would not have had the titles he had.
From what you were saying earlier, I made the comment of saying, for someone like that coming through, for the talent he had, the charisma that he had, the mic skills that he had, and the popularity he had, I genuinely think it probably would have changed the entire wrestling industry.
It's the biggest what
forever.
if.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
the biggest what if ever in wrestling.
Yeah.
As I say, it changed the wrestling landscape. Even to the point where we could discuss, would WCW have survived?
Yeah, true. Yeah. If you've got your main talent, your crowd pulling performer of the entire industry, which as you were saying was Magnum TA. It's like you said, it is a massive what if. Would WCW have survived coming off the back of having someone as iconic and as big a crowd puller as he was?
We have to remember he was only 27.
God, it's no age.
So 1986, in 1996, he would have been 37.
Jesus. Wow.
Could have gone to WWE.
Yeah.
Or WWF at the time.
Yeah.
You remember where they were looking for a new Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Could have been him.
Jesus. What sort of style was he?
He was a powerhouse, but he was also, because he was in the NWA, which was based a lot on technical wrestling, he could go. He could wrestle. He could have your 20-minute, 30-minute matches.
Could you have imagined, an up-and-coming Bret Hart? So just thinking on the technical thing, the technical ring skill and a Magnum TA match.
Here's the scary thing. It might not have happened. Bret might not have been needed.
Yes, yeah, like you said, the what if scenario. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there you go.
It's a massive one. Matches, Starrcade, 1980. I think it would have been 86. I have to check it. Against Tully Blanchard in a cage.
Yeah.
I Quit.
We'll have to see if we can
amazing match.
If we can find that on YouTube, we'll post it onto.
It's fantastic.
Page.
It's an amazing, brilliant match. It's legit. It's a proper fight. Nikita Koloff. He faced Nikita Koloff. They were doing the Russian versus USA angle. He was the big baby face. Yeah. There's a good 2 out of 3 falls match out there.
Fair play. I'll give my first one. Right, my first one's a bit of a recent one. He is still active, which is Nick Aldis, or Magnus, as he was also known as. My apologies in the background for the dog barking. So my first choice is quite a recent one. He's a current NWA star, previously with TNA and Impact, which is Nick Aldis, also known as Magnus. I know he's a long-term reigning NWA champion. I think, if memory serves correct, I think he is one of the longest reigning NWA champions.
I'm going to leave this to you. I don't know a lot about him.
Oh, so we're 1 for 1 on both our first picks.
I don't. I just want to tell a quick story.
Go for it.
From my view, I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but the really bad rehash of the Gladiators, which was on Sky.
Yeah.
He was one of the Gladiators. He was like the new Wolf.
Mm.
And it sucked. And I couldn't separate.
Such a bad reboot.
I remember
Shouldn't have been done. Never happened.
I remember him coming into TNA, and I couldn't separate the two.
Yeah.
I couldn't take him seriously, and I never had been able to.
Yeah, I will. Like I said, I mean, I know he is quite relevant. He is still active. I just feel like he's peaking too late. It should have happened way earlier. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, I mean, he signed for TNA in 2008, left in 2015, and obviously went along with signed for the NWA, which is obviously now run by Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Shock.
That's really weird.
So he's a massive fan though, massive. I never knew that. Well, obviously, he's a massive fan. He wouldn't have got involved with the company other's.
I thought it was him, but I couldn't. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't fucking know.
I'll be honest,
he's got that iconic like bald head.
Yeah.
And I saw a picture of the owner, and I thought that is that guy from the Smashing Pumpkins. But I wasn't sure.
But he's he's a two-time TNA Tag Team Champ, which I do believe was with the British Invasion with Doug Williams, and as we talked earlier, it was Rob Terry. There again, which leads to another, massive, underrated, huge, monstrous size of a guy. But I think with Doug Williams as well, that's a great pairing for Nick Aldis. Fantastic, both along the same styles of wrestling, very technical, but can deliver some outstanding powerhouse maneuvers for, essentially not a massive guy. I mean, I think Nick Aldis is about 6'4", which I was quite shocked to find out. I never put him at that height.
No, I wouldn't have put him at that height.
But
he doesn't look like a big guy.
No, he doesn't. But he as a performer, I think he carries himself fantastically.
Just interjecting. I think the last time I saw him, and I could be wrong, didn't he have a unification match with Cody?
I think so, yeah.
That was the last time I saw him.
I think you're right there, yeah.
He looked good.
I think he's fantastic.
But again, it shows how having something like a bad gimmick can affect you.
Which, I mean, the British Invasion, don't get me wrong, as a stable, they had fantastic talent. I just think it was booked piss poorly. You had three great stars there, three very, very capable ring performers. They are absolutely superb at their craft. Doug Williams especially, I know he's still going on the indie circuits, but
I can't place him.
I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a poster in Colchester once and he was on it.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Which is a shame because he was great as well. But again, so like I was saying, so Nick Aldis was a two-time TNA Tag Team Champion, one-time TNA Heavyweight Champion, which also led to the first British Heavyweight Champion for TNA. Fantastic technical skill, and he got better. The longer he was there, the longer he was in that, that main spot, he got better and better, and he became. I genuinely think he's fantastic on a mic. His promos are brilliant as a face and as a heel. I will admit I do prefer him as a heel.
I think most people about other.
Yeah, he can pull off that kind of snidey sarcasm and have that brilliant essence of threat.
He's like a gentleman, isn't he?
Yeah.
A gentleman type character. I was quite shocked when they pushed him in TNA.
Yeah, I was. Out of those three guys in particular, if you're gonna, because you always tend to go for the unstoppable force.
You would have thought
it
would have been
Big Rob.
Yeah, he is a strange one, and I don't know a lot about him again.
Same.
He could have. If they could have got him the right trainer and the right influence around him, he could have been a legit star because he had, the bodybuilder look is
Oh, he's ridiculous.
You know, it's not a great look though, is it?
But he carried himself very well.
It's very 80s stereotypical. But there was something about him when I used to watch TNA where I looked at that guy and thought, fucking hell, that guy's got...
That's the sort of guy whose pint you wouldn't want to pick up by mistake.
Yeah, the thing is with those sort of big guys, they do look like a legitimate threat.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, he was out of the whole British invasion movement. He was the guy who was, and I don't mean this in a, oh, he was a shit one out of a lot of them. He was the guy who stood behind Williams and Magnus. He was the enforcer.
Well, he was there to learn.
Yeah. But, that's a shame. Again, I couldn't tell you what he's doing now, where he is now. But, it's a shame. Absolute shame. But, yeah, so, as I was saying, that's my first pick. Nick Aldis, Magnus. Very surprised when I found out that he was married to Mickie James.
I knew that.
I didn't know that.
They lived in King's fucking Lynn.
Yeah.
She used to walk about King's Lynn, apparently.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fair play to her.
Which is quite near us.
Yeah. Very, very local to us, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, my first pick, Nick Aldis. Fantastic wrestler. Brilliant on the mic. Superb skill. Genuinely, hand on heart, I feel that he should have had a push from any company a lot sooner than it actually happened. But there we go.
But the future's still bright.
He's still going.
You never know what's going to happen. You really don't.
Going to pop up on AEW at some point.
Maybe.
Who knows? There we go. Right, on for your second pick.
Okay, so on to my second one. There's a bit of a pattern here with golden oldies.
A little bit, yeah.
I had a really interesting discussion within the Facebook page with a variety of people, and I asked about the territory days.
Yeah, that was a wonderful response.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Do you know why it was? Because it segued somewhere where I thought it wouldn't. It segued to British wrestling and the culture years ago and everything like that.
Pretty sure it was Lorna that commented first.
Yeah, and big props for that, because it really gave everyone a little bit of nostalgia, it felt like. Yeah, it was a great topic.
Yeah,
and
absolutely brilliant. Fair play to you for bringing that topic up. That was
Well, I didn't expect that response, which is just outstanding. And I thank everyone. There was a wonderful post, and unfortunately, I do forget the guy's name. I am going to find out what that name is and give him a big shout out. They were talking about their grandfather and father being involved in the show, stretching wrestlers out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that person passed away. The father.
Right.
But what an honour.
Yeah,
because they were so protective back then of the business, and I imagine that they were in the know.
Yeah.
And I was happy to bring that to that person if they maybe didn't know, because that would have been a huge honour. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. But as I said beforehand, it was a fantastic topic to pick up.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, the whole nostalgia fact of it as well. I mean, I can just about remember watching that on Saturdays. And memory serves correct, it was my grandfather who was, said, watch out for them, boy, look at that, giant haystacks, Big Daddy, people like that. Fantastic. I genuinely think that's got to be my first introduction into the world of wrestling.
There's so much to it. The world of sport introduced potential wrestlers and gave them a chance. Bret Hart, William Regal, Fit Finlay.
Yes.
The Dynamite Kids.
Yeah.
Owen.
Davey Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the megastars were Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks. They were just pantomime fucking...
but they were so... not, and I don't
they
mean
were over.
Aside.
They were over.
Oh, God, yeah. They were like A-list celebrities for their time.
Big Daddy... he's part of British culture, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, because you you can't bring up a topic of conversation about, best British wrestlers. If they're not if those two aren't in your top 5 of some of the most iconic British wrestlers of all time, personally, I think you're a fucking idiot. They have got to be in there. They are, like you say, they're cultural more than anything else. It's just, like you say, it's part of British nostalgia. Anything to do with British wrestling in general. But if Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy aren't mentioned, get the fuck out. The door's that way. Go.
Yeah, the person's name is Dominic Saunders. I apologise for that. We are going through the Facebook page as we're doing this. And as you can see, I don't know if you've seen that, Stu. What a fantastic little comment.
I'll just read it out for you. The comment Dominic left us was, my dad used to go up to the local civic hall with my granddad, who was a docker, and they used to stretcher injured wrestlers off. Not sure if it was a genuine injury or part of the show. Sadly, my dad has since passed away, so I can't ask him. Thank you for that comment, Dominic. Thank you. And our heartfelt condolences also for the loss of your father. But thank you for leaving such a lovely comment like that as well. It's really nice to have such heartfelt comments on a comment section on a podcast page that we do, just as a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But if it brings out something that really genuinely means something to you, thanks, mate. Thank you ever so much. That really does mean something that you're willing to share it with us. Thank you again. Thanks.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love little stories like that. I think they really bring sort of the influence of wrestling and
Absolutely.
the nostalgia. David Cox was talking about going to see the wrestling around his, I think it was grandmother's.
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah,
and that was a pastime back then.
Yeah,
the older generation thought it was real.
Yeah, absolutely.
They used to. I had older friends who used to tell me that US stuff is a load of crap and that's fake, but the British stuff was real, and they did believe in it.
Oh, I genuinely believed it when I was a kid watching it with my granddad.
I'm talking older people. They
did.
They honestly believed it was real. Some of them.
Yeah, I genuinely thought it was.
So moving on to my seconds. After many segues, we do apologise.
Tough. Sorry, go on.
It's Nick Bockwinkle.
Again, this is another one I wasn't completely clued up on. During the course of the week, James has sent me over a couple of links, and wow, that is literally going to be my only input for this. This one's all yours. Holy shit! Wow,
what a talent! So he had a 4-decade career. He started in the 50s.
Jesus.
Yeah. He started in the 50s. He was a former American football player, and he started off as a face.
Right.
And I wouldn't say he was enhancement talent, but he never made it to the big time as a face. Then they turn him heel, and he becomes one of the most unique heels ever. And this is going to upset a lot of people, but in my opinion, he's everything that Ric Flair wanted to be.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
His promo was, he just used to talk and he used to use long words.
Yeah.
And he thought his shit didn't stink.
Right. Okay.
When he talked about, it was just so believable.
Yeah. A huge air of confidence.
Yeah, there was an air of confidence. He was legit.
Yeah.
When he spoke about the competition within wrestling.
Yeah.
And how he was the best, and there was no two ways about it. He was the greatest star.
Yeah.
One of the biggest factors is the fact that he had such influence over Bobby Heenan, who becomes such a massive star himself.
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan starts, or especially becomes a megastar through Nick Bockwinkle.
Wow.
He was the manager.
Right.
Of Nick Bockwinkle, and the pair were just magic. Matches, the guy was technically one of the best in that period.
Yeah.
He could do everything. You got to think dive off the top fucking rope back then or anything like that.
Back in that era was all done in ring.
His selling was top notch. His aggressiveness when he needed to be aggressive and not technical.
Yeah.
He was like a savage.
Right.
And he was just class, mate. Honestly, anyone who hasn't seen his work, go and see it. He is the most decorated person on this list for sure. He is a 4-time AWA champion.
Wow.
He goes on, I believe, till about 1993.
Really?
Yeah, he as I say, started in the 50s.
Christ.
He started in the 50s.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make it until, I think he's mid to late 40s.
Right.
So when he's got the belt the first time, he's supposed to be in decline.
Yeah,
but it doesn't happen.
That's usually round kind of the age where, you know, some of these big name stars kind of, you know, thinking about retirement, coming to the end of it, or you do get these, you know, some of these age-old stars who just want to milk that gravy train until, you know, till the end of days.
No, this guy was absolutely legit.
Wow.
And a really important fact regarding Flair is that he was offered the opportunity to come to WCW, which was the NWA back then under Crockett in the Carolinas. But he was so happy where he was that he just turned it down. He just said
was just for the love of
he
the industry.
He loved wrestling. He loved the AWA.
Wow.
He was the person who originally was supposed to lose the title to Hogan because Hogan was in the AWA, and that was where Hulkamania was supposed to start.
Wow. This is going to, you know, kind of segue off a little bit. Like this again, as I said in the previous episode, this is exactly why I know I picked the right person to do this podcast. I know I called you Wikipedia last time, but it's true. Your knowledge of this is just unbelievable, and I'm so happy that your picks are from the golden era of wrestling.
Well, I wanted to have a contrast. I think that's fucking good.
Yeah,
because we've got a contrast there. We've got something for the group to take a look at and to go, oh, maybe I don't know who these guys are. Have a look at them.
It has been a massive eye opener for me because, you know, for these people that you've nominated, not a clue.
Believe you me, a lot of these matches stand the test of time.
Yeah.
When we go back and look at like Bruno Sammartino and a lot of the WWF stuff, it doesn't really stand the test of time. But a lot of the NWA and AWA matches do stand the test of time. And big shout out to Jonathan Coote again. He mentions the match between Kurt Hennig.
Yes,
and Bockwinkle, which is a fantastic match. He's set of matches which he lays out in the comments section for everyone. Those matches stand the test of time, and they are fantastic to watch even today.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Fair play.
I'm not
brilliant nomination again there.
I'm not going to say too much more about Nick Bockwinkle. What I'll do is I'll post some links in the Facebook so people can have a look. If you haven't had a look at him before, give him a gander.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at how good he was.
Yeah. Just for the brief, you know, the two briefly that you've brought up so far for this top three. We've had a brief look. You showed us a few bits beforehand before we started recording. I won't lie, folks. When we do post these links up, go and check them out. It's a work of art. It's fantastic. To coin the phrase, it's a masterclass.
Yeah.
It is absolute masterclass and some of the best in-ring performing you'll ever fucking see. It's so good.
That they were masters of their craft.
Yes, absolutely.
And the stuff looks so much more believable than today.
Oh, the selling alone, like you said earlier, it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant, and you don't get that now. The selling that you get now not just in WWE, you know, but it goes across. Yeah. It goes across. It's global. The selling that you get now is far too theatrical.
Everything moves too fast.
Yeah, you know,
we don't have time to process anything.
The selling that you have then is really, really believable. It is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, fair play to you, mate. That is, again, another brilliant choice.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm just a big fan of old school wrestling. I think there's some really good matches, and I think that, as I just mentioned there, I think the WWF overshadows that, because a lot of their theatrical work, some of it was really good, but a lot of it, like your Bruno Sammartino's, who was fantastic for his time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you can't take that away. No.
As an actual worker, they weren't that great. And watching them now, you can see through it. Yeah. It's not a great watch. They're quite boring. Yeah. This stuff,
it's edgy seat stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it really is.
Terry Funk versus Lola. In the empty arena match. It's a stunning match. It's an amazing match.
It's so good. Again, if you haven't watched that, YouTube, it's on there. Go and check it out, folks. It is utterly brilliant. Again, it's another one of the, I'm going to sound like we're coining a phrase here. It is a masterclass. It is superb.
It's a lost art.
Yeah, it is.
The territory days were really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were. A lot of the professionals you see today, they lack that.
Yeah.
They lack moving from territory to territory, learning a different style, learning a different craft.
Which we shall also bring up again in a little while.
Yeah. On to your third one.
Second.
Oh, it is your second?
It is, it's my second,
I apologise.
Oh, you've dominated this category. My second choice is Gail Kim.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Can I just interject one thing?
Yeah.
One thing just quick. I think the women deserve an episode on their own. I think they've become such a staple within wrestling, which is massive credit to them. Yeah. I think at times they're better. I really do.
Absolutely.
I think they're more entertaining, and
especially in recent years.
I think we should do a topic on them on their own. But we'll do Gail Kim. Yeah.
So my second choice is Gail Kim. She's the 7-time TNA Knockouts champion, 1-time TNA Tag Team champion, and was inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame in 2016. I genuinely feel very sorry for her. Her whole WWE career was absolutely fucking shambolic.
I can give a little bit of insight into that because I watched, big shout out to Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah.
He was talking about Vince saying that the male audience wouldn't find Asian women attractive.
Yeah,
Did you hear about that? That's
funny enough,
stereotypical and shit.
Yeah, I read that last night.
Just looking at what she looks like and thinking that's how she would get over. Yeah. She's a great wrestler.
I genuinely think of the last 20, 30 years, I would put her easily in the top 3 greatest female wrestlers of all time. Her in-ring skills are second to none.
She was really the legends, wasn't she, of the TNA Knockouts?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I know, you get the talk of the whole Divas division resurgence when they started revamping it and pushing the women's division really, really hard. It should have fucking happened when she was there. She should have been that main star that carried the Divas division in the WWE to the heights that it is now. She should have been the go-to women's performer.
I think she should have been one of them. I think Molly Holly's another one.
Again, do you know what?
She could have been on the list.
She was so close with Gail Kim for going on the list. So close.
I think Trish Stratus was really good.
She was. Yeah, I'll never take away.
She got in there with fucking Jazz. You know, she got in there with Jazz, and Jazz used to fucking fight the blokes.
Yeah, she was an animal.
Yeah,
Absolute animal.
And she held her own. She was good.
Victoria as well.
Yeah, Victoria was nearly on my list.
Again, yeah. I've got it on here. It's on a scrap piece of paper.
I actually, that's the reason why I want to do them in another one, because I
had Gail Kim and Molly Holly on my list.
Yeah. I had a lot of women that I could have put on the list, but I'm going to save those.
Absolutely fine. As I was saying, my reasons why I put her on this list just stems from one incident which was a battle royal.
Okay.
She was, if you have a look at the stars that were in this women's battle royal, the caliber of talent is fucking dreadful. It is. I know that sounds bad. And
Wasn't there like ODB and people like that there then?
No. This was her last one.
Oh, okay.
For WWE. This was the reason she jumped ship.
Oh, okay.
So, she had previously before asked for her release. She was sick and tired of just being screwed over time and time again to less talented stars. Less talented stars. And she was, without a shadow of a doubt, as I said before, the best women's wrestler in that division. She was fucking phenomenal. She had asked for her release. She was fed up of being essentially a mid-carder and a jobber. She put her release in and Vince went, nope, not happening. So they booked her in a battle royal. And she was told that she was going to go out within the first minute of the battle royal. Do you know what she did?
No.
She did a proper protest. She didn't go over the top rope. She climbed under the bottom rope and just fucked off. She walked out.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Fair play to her.
Yeah.
You know, she knew her talent was way, way better than this. She was head and shoulders above every performer in that ring. And she had enough. So she just went under the bottom rope, crawled out of the ring, and then just walked off. And I will give props to the commentary team because they had to milk that moment. They had to sound surprised that she'd been eliminated, knowing full well that the entire crowd have just seen her slide under the bottom rope. Fair play. It's quite funny to watch.
I didn't know about that.
I'll go watch it. It's on YouTube. It is. Right. But it's so fucking bad that she knows she's better than this. But, I mean, look at her. She carried the TNA's women's division, the Knockouts division, and they genuinely had some good talent there.
I think that some of the divas were talented. I actually do. I think the focus was on them as sex symbols, and I think that was the big issue.
Yeah.
I think there were people there. Eve Torres seemed quite decent, you know.
I will say Melina.
Yeah,
Melina. She was a great performer.
Yeah.
But it's that era of WWE where Vince was obsessed with sex appeal, not, lingerie matches and shit. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care.
I quite like the Trish and Lita one.
Oh, what, their final match?
No, the bra and panties.
That's just you.
No, there's some good ones, mate. There's one at Invasion in 2001, which is Stacey Keibler, Tori Wilson versus Lita and Trish Stratus.
Oh my!
And Mick Foley's the special guest referee, and as all the clothing is coming off, he's picking it up and putting it in his underneath his shirt and shit. It's funny as fuck.
Oh God! Oh my God!
It is funny, honestly.
But yeah, if you get a chance, go and have a look at that battle royal. It's heartbreaking to watch because, like I said, she knows that she was better than this shit. And she was. That's the sad truth from that. But you only have to go and look at her title reigns for TNA.
I think she's good.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of TNA, but I'll be honest with you, I can't remember a lot about it. It's sort of a blank in my mind.
I remember...
I was a massive fan of, like, Christopher Daniels. And
I really rated Matt Morgan.
Yeah. The X Division. Do you remember the X Division?
Big
Styles versus Joe versus Daniels. It was unreal.
Do you know, and that's going to lead us to our next topic again afterwards, so I'm going to have to stop you there because there was a comment made about that on the Facebook page.
Oh, was there really?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Very good friend of mine, Billy Morgan.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
The X Division really carries the flag for TNA. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah. So there we go. That's my second pick, and we're going to go for your third and final.
This guy was successful, but in my mind, he was massively underrated, and he deserved a lengthy title run.
Yeah.
It's Ravishing Rick Rude.
Absolutely.
He had natural heat. He used to piss the crowd off, something chronic.
Yeah.
He could talk. They still put Bobby Heenan with him just as a heater, to make it even worse.
Yeah, I
Those
was literally just about to
those
say
promos. Those promos that he used to do, where he used to fucking get the women to either come up into the ring and snog him after he took his robe off. He used to say, to all you, like, Pennsylvania pissants, let me take my robe off.
And you'd never get away with doing that shit now.
Yeah. Let me take my robe off and show you what a real man looks like. He used to do the gyration.
I was literally about to say that was the first memory that I've ever had of watching Ravishing Rick Rude is him derobing and a picture of his face printed on his ass.
Yeah, but that was
his tights.
That was another massive part of his gimmick. Those airbrush tights were amazing.
They were brilliant.
Everyone used to just want to see what they were going to be.
There's some big guy gyrating his ass around with a picture of his own face on his ass.
But what's really important about Rick Rude, on top of his character and his gimmick and how brilliantly he did that, is he was a fantastic technical wrestler.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
He carried the Warrior. Do you remember through the Warriors Intercontinental title reign?
Yes.
And the feuds. I'm
pretty sure I watched that round yours again.
He had the Intercontinental title off of the Warrior. He actually defeated the Warrior. I think it was at WrestleMania 5.
Pretty sure you're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic match. But like you say,
I think with the Warrior and Hogan at the time, WWE were more focused on having a face lead the company.
Yeah.
But I think Rick Rude's contributions go really under the radar.
Yeah.
He had feuds with Piper.
Yeah. They were brilliant.
Yeah, he had feuds with Piper. He had a brilliant feud with Jake Roberts. Do you remember when he tried to seduce Roberts' wife?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, and what happened was, I don't know because they censored this for TV, but Roberts come out and pulled his trunks off. I don't know if he was butt fucking naked and ran off because they censored it.
No,
but that was
Rick Rude was like, he probably was.
Yeah. But going into his influence, when he moves to WCW, he becomes Steve Austin's mentor with the Dangerous Alliance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was around about 1992.
Yeah.
Has a lot to do with Paulie.
Yeah. Oh,
Paulie with the Dangerous Alliance.
Yeah.
He was the main man. He was the big I am of the Dangerous Alliance. He was the leader.
Yeah.
His matches in WCW with Steamboat. I don't know if anyone's seen those.
Yes.
They are a work of art.
Masterclass again.
Yeah.
I'm going to coin that phrase a lot during this topic. Yeah.
But as I say, the main reason I pick him is because he didn't have a title run. I know there's going to be some smart Alex who'll turn around in the chat maybe and say that he was the WCW International World Champion or some belt that they made. It wasn't the world title. He never.
It wasn't. It's not the top dog title. You know. It's.
Well, I don't know. I don't fucking know what it was.
No,
I don't know.
I'm genuinely trying to think of a comparison. So it's kind of like their equivalent of what was it, the TV title?
Yeah.
Couldn't give a toss.
I think if he wouldn't have got injured, he had that terrible back injury. I think it was in about 94 against Sting.
Yeah.
I think he may have had a title reign.
I'm going to agree with you there. I think it was only a matter of time. He was due it. He was. I'll go as far as say I think he was overdue it.
Cool.
He should have had major titles under his belt.
Can you imagine him as the shit-eating, grinning heel that he was?
Yeah. And
the arrogant, cocky bastard with that title.
I mean, brilliant. I'd have paid money to go and watch that. I'd have paid a lot of money to go and watch that.
Potential Attitude Era star.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Again, he was so talented. But I mean, I can even remember him when he came back to WWF with
DX.
Early days of DX.
He was part of the original DX, which goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
He actually left because of the screw job.
He was at one point, wasn't he on both?
Yes. Yes, he left because he was really, really good friends with Bret Hart. He hated what happened, and he said, I can't take this bullshit. He left and he appeared on both shows because one Raw was taped. Yeah. And the WCW was live, and he was on both shows at the same time.
I'm going to say one thing as well. I mean, you can see the legacy that he's left behind since sadly he passed. You've only got to look at heel stars like The Miz, MJF.
Yeah, natural heat.
No, it's very, very hard to come by these days.
It's rare as hell.
But they have got to have taken massive, massive influence from Rick Rude as a heel that could draw natural heat from... you could walk into the nicest crowd possible and Rude would, like that, flick the switch and they would turn on him.
I think the argument for that in modern day is that because it's such a rarity now, people actually cheer it.
Yeah.
Because they know how skilled someone is if they can do it.
Yeah. It is a talent. It is an
and they actually
talent.
Become a face.
Yeah, MJF.
The only person I can think who has legitimate heat, or did have, was Baron Corbin. Because everyone just hated his fucking guts.
Yeah, with the exception of this shit gimmick that he's in at the moment.
Yeah.
Just fucking drop it.
But yeah, again, I think what we'll do is, I think with Rick Rude, we'll put some things in the chat. I'm not going to go too much into detail because... Yeah. I think if we put some things into the Facebook, show some of these guys' work.
I genuinely think if we, I think we could have a separate topic just on Rick, top 3 greatest Rick Rude moments. I think you'd probably need 10.
I think we can for a lot of these.
Yeah.
Nick Bockwinkle, I was very short on. I could have really gone to town on that.
Yeah. Right. Let's go for my last one.
Okay.
Again, mine is a still active member of the pro wrestling circuit, and it is, I'm not going to lie, it pains me to say this, but it's Cesaro.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I think that's most people's reaction.
It is criminal, absolutely criminal how badly this guy has been booked. And don't get me wrong, he is a multiple WWE tag team title holder with Sheamus when they were the Bar. He was a 2-time Ring of Honor champion with Chris Hero while they were wrestling under the Kings of Wrestling.
Yeah. Wasn't he called something like Claudius or Claudio?
Yeah, Cesaro was always used as his surname.
Yeah.
And WWE just kind of dropped the,
well, they called him Antonio Cesaro when he first came in, didn't they?
They were once the longest tag team champion, reigning champs, 364 days.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever seen any of...
Is this Ring of Honor stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Oh,
there was heavy Jim Cornette influence there.
They were fucking brilliant together. Absolutely brilliant. Again, he was a WWE US champion, and I thought he carried that title really well, absolutely brilliantly. And then obviously he was... I'm genuinely getting angry. The more I'm going on about Cesaro being my number 1 pick of an underrated wrestler, and I've got notes in front of me here, he was the winner of the inaugural Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Just to interject quick, I thought that was the beginning. I thought that was where they were going to do it.
I thought this was it, fuck me, it's so overdue. This is going to be the big one. Now he's got it. What do they do? Fuck him off again. They just... There's so many times. I mean, he's had a recent push again.
It's been derails.
What are you doing to this guy's career? I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was on the money that he was on, I'd do any old shit. Quite frankly, he's got to be earning some serious bunts. But it is absolutely fucking criminal that this guy has not had a major push with a big title. The SmackDown title, the Raw title. Whatever one you want, he should have had it at least 5 years ago. And
I agree.
Perfect summary of this is the Wrestling Observer newsletter recognised him as, and I quote, the most underused wrestler in the world from 2013 to 2016. He won that 3 years on the trot.
Unlimited potential.
His strength is fucking scary.
Oh, his technical ability, I think, is even more impressive given his size.
Yeah, I genuinely couldn't agree more. And it's also given me one of the worst, cringiest moments of my entire life was when he hit the ring post and pushed his front teeth up into his gums.
Oh, yeah, that was...
That is...
But then again, he turned that into a gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, he still
that
used
shows
it.
his creativity.
Yeah. I think
I'm genuinely getting fucking annoyed talking about this one.
You know, when they give him Paul Heyman, I think that was a really good thing.
Yeah.
But they focused more of the attention on Brock.
Oh, yeah. I was genuinely hoping it was going to be, not to quote CM Punk, but he was going to be a Paul Heyman guy. This is a big push, much the same as the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. This is going to be a push. And the annoying thing is, and I'm so sorry I'm getting so fucking wound up about this.
It is frustrating.
They've had the chance so many times to give him that push, and I genuinely think he would carry that belt so well.
Yeah, the crowd would be behind it. He's legitimate, isn't he? He comes across as someone who you would be able to believe in being a world champion or whatever they want to call it now.
I mean, you see some of the guys that he's, it's just scoop slammed or power slammed, that for a guy that size, he shouldn't be doing it. But he does it, and it's so fucking easy for him. He is natural talent, natural strength, natural skill, natural technicalities. He is everything that company should have pushed.
Yep.
And they've ruined it.
I agree.
That chance, as far as I'm concerned, and I hate to say it, is fucking dead and gone. It's never going to happen. Unless I think he jumped ship.
Yeah. But I think it's sad. I think it's a total
criminal
waste. And
absolutely criminal.
I think now's the time.
Yeah. It's...
the opportunity's there.
Yeah. You've got... even if someone with NWA or New Japan...
He would be fantastic in New Japan.
Oh, he'd be brilliant. He'd be absolutely brilliant. AEW, just anything. Anything's better than what he's doing right now.
Can you imagine him and Ospreay?
Oh my God! I'd pay money, flight tickets straight to Japan. Take my money, sold. That would be a phenomenal match, absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to end my picks there because the more I'm going on, the more fucking angry I'm getting.
Yeah,
so that's it.
That's
I'm
fine.
done.
I don't think you're the only one there.
No, I'm pretty sure on our Facebook page there was quite a few mentions of Cesaro. It's bad, and it is so sad. I think all the ones that we've spoken about so far, they've been great choices. I'm just going to read out a couple that we've had on social media pages, starting with Rob Shepherd. If we're talking underrated wrestlers, I'm talking Emma, or Tennille Dashwood, as she's otherwise known as. Along with Paige, she made the NXT women's division what it was, and long before the Four Horsemen came along. Yeah, I couldn't agree more there, Rob. Absolutely fantastic choice. Another one, Billy Morgan. Tatanka was always a favourite of mine. I think he was underrated. William Regal, I don't think people ever appreciated how good he was in the ring or the mic. And I thought Sanada was underused in TNA. Fantastic choice. Jonathan Coote. First underrated wrestler for me is Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 holds. Great choice. He had some great matches, but I always felt he was deserving of far better. Kurt Angle, Bret Hart and Benoit were great technical wrestlers, but I feel people always forgot to include Dean Malenko when technical wrestlers were brought up. Dean Malenko was amazing. Yeah, couldn't agree more there. Absolutely fantastic choice. Johnny Coote. Second choice was Chris Kanyon. I thought that was a fantastic choice, and that completely skipped my mind. Skipped my mind. As he said, Kanyon had everything you can ask for in a professional wrestler: size, mic capability, and a creative in-ring talent. At the time, he performed moves that few had ever seen. And his final choice... Oh, no, sorry, that's his matches. Sorry, I can't read those out just yet. We're going into that one later. Thanks again, guys, for your choices. Absolutely brilliant. Really do appreciate you all getting involved. it genuinely means a lot to us that you guys are actually just taking a couple of minutes out of your day to send us your nominations for our top threes.
We read them all, and we really do appreciate it. I mean, I love going on there and just shooting the shit with people.
Yeah, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And we, as I said before, really do appreciate the involvement from you guys. So
everyone's got their own opinion as well, you know, on things, and that's the beauty of wrestling. Everyone's got their favourites or
there's no
people
right or wrong.
that have had a big influence on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I've stated before, I could nominate Mick Foley for every single bloody category I've ever had. Right. So our next topic is underrated matches section. We kind of gone for a bit of a joint... you kind of went for a bit of a joint topic on this one. Underrated wrestlers and underrated match.
Yeah, I thought there was... Yeah, I thought there was a lot that we could do with that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I just want to point out, it's not mutually exclusive to the wrestlers that we've picked.
Yeah. Yeah, as we've stated before, James is Wikipedia when it comes to wrestling. His knowledge goes back as, the dawn of time as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just kind of relevant last 20, 30 years. So I think we get a nice good mixture of knowledge and enthusiasm more than anything else as well, which is, love it. It's brilliant. It's a perfect mixture.
So what I'm going to do with my ones, I'm not going to give away a lot about them. All I'm going to do is I'm going to mention them, mention a few reasons why I chose them very briefly, and then I'm going to post them in the page.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I only picked one for mine. I'm not going to lie. I really struggled with this. It was... I just purely because I wanted to go for just one match. Because I could have filled this notepad with just... There's so many to choose from.
What do you want to do about yours? Do you want to say it briefly and then post it?
Yeah, I'll do a brief.
It's quite an unknown match.
Yeah. So, do you want to go first for yours?
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, so...
You've got more to get through than I have.
I'm not going to talk about a lot within mine, like we just have. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to read out my top 3 underrated matches here. My first one is the Back Alley Brawl that took place at Madison Square Garden in 1981.
Year I was born.
Yeah, and it is Pat Patterson versus Sergeant Slaughter.
Nice. Yeah, you did send me the link for that, and I've got to admit
that match stands the test of time. And there's
that is good.
There's influences of the Royal Rumble Street Fight from
absolutely.
2000.
Yeah, it's like
there.
You could almost put it down as a prequel.
Yeah,
that I know it's 2 completely different stars and completely different eras, but you can see the influence in that.
Yeah,
absolutely. More from Mick Foley than anyone else.
All I say is complete bloodbath.
Brutal.
Still brilliant to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep an eye out for Sergeant Slaughter in his prime, because in 1991, when he did the whole Iraq thing, he was past his prime. Yeah. And a lot of people look at him and go, God, he didn't deserve to be champion. Look at him here and how much heat he had. This match is sensational. I will link it. Watch it.
Yeah, please do. So worth watching.
Okay, my second one, there is a little bit of backstory to this one. It's Mr. Perfect versus Bret Hart at King of the Ring 1993.
Oh,
this match is better, in my opinion, than their match at SummerSlam 91.
I will agree with you 1,000% on that. Absolutely.
I think the reason this gets overlooked is because it was a semi-final of the elimination tournament, and for me, it should have been the final. They did that.
Yeah, that's a main event caliber match.
Yeah, they did the face promo in the back with I think it was Gene Oakland at the time, where they both stood together. Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Piper.
Yeah.
And Bret back at WrestleMania 8.
Yeah.
And they start off respecting each other and saying how much they respect the talent of each other. And then it just devolves into fucking childish behaviour. Like, my dad would have beat your dad, and your dad would have never beat my dad, and all this.
More than anything, that's got to come from Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
That's his influence on it.
Yeah, and it's the match is a technical masterpiece. It's great.
It's so good.
So I'm going to link that one.
Yeah.
The third one is quite a famous match, which gets overlooked, in my opinion. And I think the reason why it gets overlooked is because no one would expect these two guys to be able to do an hour-long match.
Okay.
And it's The Rock versus Triple H from Judgment Day 2000.
Wow.
This is a really, really nice little match.
You know what?
I
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it has, I won't give away the falls or the winner, but it has Shawn Michaels involved as the referee. And it has one of the best returns ever. It's a shocking return.
Yeah.
It affects the match brilliantly. The whole booking of it, considering that this match went on an hour, was sensational. The way this match ends is it's its strength.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So I'm going to link that one as well. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into them. I'm just going to link them and let you watch them. That match is great.
Yeah, it is. It is really, really good.
I mean, I say a little match. It's an hour long.
It's an hour long, yeah.
But what I mean is a great little match.
Yeah.
What I mean is in terms of little match, it's the way it's sort of forgotten about now, because it was a great match.
Exactly why I was very surprised you said that. I didn't know you were going to pick that one. So
I've always felt sorry for that match.
Right.
Because I think it was a lot better than everyone give it credit for.
Right. Fair play. Right. So my one and only pick, as I said, I didn't want to put more than one answer down for this, and I really struggled, dwindling it down to this one pick. Mine is from ECW Hostile City Showdown from the 15th of April 1995. I chose this, it's skill beyond skill, this match.
And revolutionary.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
It's something that wasn't seen back then.
It's so ahead of its time.
Yeah,
and granted, it being an ECW match, you'd expect blood, gore, weapons, everything being thrown into the ring for this match to be as brutal as it was, and it's not. It is. My note even here says it is a masterclass in technical wrestling, and it's Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero.
Yes, it is. Those two, we're so used to working together, and they are so fluid in everything they do.
The only bits I'm going to say about this, obviously everyone knows Dean Malenko and the late Eddie Guerrero. Still to this day, Eddie Guerrero chants happen. And I don't blame them. What a character, what a wrestler, what a performer. It's such a shame. Absolutely fantastic. And Dean Malenko, mentioned previously from a few of the followers, as an underrated performer, especially with WWE, criminally underused. The man of 1,000 holds, and that nickname is absolutely right. He
suffers from his size.
Yeah,
that's what they were going on. I think if he was a couple of inches taller and a bit more muscular, he would have been a hit in WWE. Yeah. Unfortunately, they look at that sort of thing.
Oh, it's bypassed.
He suffered for it. But God, what a talent!
At the time, Guerrero was 3 years into signing with New Japan Pro Wrestling prior to joining ECW, and I think at the time he was still, whilst he was with his first year of ECW, was still contracted with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It shows. Eddie Guerrero had that fantastic mixture at that time nobody had seen of Japan-style wrestling.
Yeah, the Japanese style. I think both people, and this goes, unfortunately, there's always controversy when you talk about this person with Chris Benoit as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the Pegasus Kid over in New Japan.
Yes. And
the style, there's such a variation of styles in this match, because you've got the Japanese influence.
Yeah.
You've got the Latino, or the Mexican influence.
Yeah, the Mexican influence, the Lucha Libre styles.
Yep. Then you've got the catch-as-catch-can style with Dean Malenko on top of it. So it's a clash of every style and done
it is
masterfully.
Again, I'll post a link for this match on our Facebook page. It's, memory serves correct, I think it's about 34 minutes long, this match. And it is one of the most fluent matches you'll ever see. It is world class. This sort of match, I genuinely would put as a pay-per-view main event. It was so good and criminally overlooked. The two of these guys, they were, obviously we all know Eddie Guerrero, what he eventually became to be, with his WWE heavyweight title run, and it was fantastic. But obviously with work with the Radicals as well. Yeah. With, again, Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn.
I think moving back just an inch on that, Bischoff gets a lot of criticism, but I think that you have to credit Bischoff for watching ECW, because he must have fucking done.
Oh, God, yeah.
And noticing Benoit and Guerrero and Malenko, and bringing them into WCW, because they formed, at least Malenko and Guerrero.
Yeah.
They formed the lightweight division.
Absolutely.
Really, they were part of the lightweight division. Staples in there.
They carried it. Yeah. They absolutely carried it.
Yeah, they were good.
So that, and I am going to, much like James said for his choices, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I am going to end it on that section.
Yeah, I think if we go into all the intricacies of the matches,
oh God,
we ruin it for everyone who might want to watch them. So I was very aware of that from the last one.
Yeah. I mean, that match alone, in the last week since going through my picks for this, I can honestly say I've watched that match 6 times in the last week.
Yeah, I could have picked about 25. Yeah, I had so many on my list that I didn't know what to do.
I know it's only our second episode, but that was going from our previous, which was the Royal Rumble match, or Royal Rumble itself category. Yeah. That was tough to do. Yeah. Really tough.
I looked at it from a perspective where I chose one in the 80s, one in the 90s, and one in the 2000s.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play.
Because my other one is highly biased towards the golden oldies, really, and the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fair play to you.
Okay, so I think we'll leave that there, and then we'll tackle our next topic, which is...
So, the next topic...
Do you want to say? Go on.
So our next topic we're going to talk about is the current run of WWE releases. Now, we were going to cover this on our last episode, but we then found out that we had talked shit for quite a long time.
Like this one, probably.
But it is a category. It is something I've really wanted to talk about. Myself and James, we've spoken about it on previous occasions quite a few times. It is a topic that needs to be discussed. Quite frankly, I think it is absolute horseshit, if I'm all honest.
I've got a more balanced view on it.
I went as far, right? I went as far in my notes to listing off about 30 names. And I'm going to just list off some of the bigger names of it. And obviously, the most recent one being, it wasn't even a cut. He quit, basically, which was Jeff Hardy.
I'm okay with that, by the way.
Yeah, I am.
But
I've got a lot of love for Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, see, this is where there's going to be some controversy with me.
Yeah, and I'm all up for that.
I think that was a fair cut.
Yeah, I also would like to say fair play to him for standing his ground. I know we all know he's had issues with substance abuse in the past, and I think it was a bullshit call that they pulled him up on it again. And him being him, he knew damn well he was clean, and the blood test or urine test proved that he was clean, and gave him the middle finger and went, "Fuck you, I'm done."
Yeah, I think there's some discrepancies in this, though. I think the reason they give him a drug test was because of his behaviour. And also, we must... Not often are you going to hear us defend the WWE, but he jumped in the crowd with no warning.
Oh, right.
I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't.
Because a lot of people don't know the circumstances. Now, he jumped in the crowd with no warning.
Right.
With no security. They usually have security where they know something like that might happen. He just jumped in, and backstage they were like, Jesus fucking Christ, because they didn't know.
Yeah.
And someone could have got hurt, or he could have jumped on somebody or done something. Someone could have swung at him, and he could have swung back. It was a lawsuit, potentially.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intricacies to that story, and in the reasoning behind it, because he's supposed to be a professional.
Yeah.
And he did that, and he was acting strange, because I've watched it.
Yeah.
You know,
was this his last match?
This is the house show.
Yeah,
That was the primary reason.
Yeah, I do get that, and I myself, I watched the footage that was leaked on social media and kind of went, man, he looks pissed. For anyone that listens to this overseas in the States or anything, we don't mean pissed off. We mean he looks drunk.
Yeah, I'm not taking it from that sort of stance. I'm taking it from the stance of, if I was a promoter and one of my talent jumped the barricades unannounced and could have potentially put the company in a position where it could have been sued.
Like you said, lawsuits. And you're not talking a couple of hundred or 1,000. You're going to be looking millions.
You've got to take action. And I think...
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, I personally think that the reason they drug tested him is because they couldn't believe he fucking did it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to list off some of the names that we got here. And as I said, I'll go for the bigger names more than anyone. And, you know, Christ, if I list off all these names, we'll be here for fucking ages. So we've got John Morrison, Tegan Knox, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Nia Jax. That one, I couldn't give a toss, really.
She deserved to go. She deserved to go earlier.
To be fair.
She's dangerous.
Yeah. Ember Moon, Maya Yim, Scarlett Bordeaux, Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, Mercedes Martinez, Jake Atlas. This next one that I'll read out, I think was the biggest shock more than anyone else, and that's Bray Wyatt.
I think that's ludicrous.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
It's that was criminal. Him and the other one I'm going to say was Keith Lee.
Yeah, I've always been a massive fan of Keith Lee. I think that he had the potential to actually be one of the standard bearers for the company.
Him and Brock Lesnar, when they had that standoff in the Rumble, that was phenomenal. And I know it wasn't on for that long, but that was brilliant.
It was the crowd's reaction.
That pop was superb. Now, to me, that sold it straight away. For me, that was the best moment of that Rumble.
He has unlimited potential.
Oh, absolutely. Well, limitless, like they call him.
He's a massive star and pickup for AEW.
It's absolutely brilliant. I could not agree more.
I think a lot of people are going to be shocked at how big a star he's going to be.
But going back to Bray Wyatt,
you can't tell me that they couldn't have worked it out. If the reason was that he was hard to work with, you can't tell me that everyone throughout the ages of wrestling have not been hard to work with when they're on top.
Exactly.
And they've got creative ideas, and they want to take an interest in their character and how it moves forward. Yeah.
I mean, you talk about... I'm struggling to remember his name now. When he was with Nexus.
Husky Harris.
That's the one. Sorry. Yeah, good job. Yeah. So obviously when he was with Husky Harris, you know, it wasn't a very memorable character. He was there. We knew he was there. That was about it. But when he went to becoming Bray Wyatt, he was kind of adopting that Max Cady persona from Cape Fear.
He was very similar to Waylon Mercy.
Yes! Yes!
Do you remember Waylon
Absolutely.
Mercy?
Yeah.
Dan Spivey. Now, Dan Spivey, I apologise for anyone who can hear a drink pouring, by the way. I'm not going to edit this out.
It's Pepsi, for anyone that's looking to endorse us. Pepsi, and I am drinking Coke Zero.
I apologise to the listeners, my throat's going a bit dry.
But for those who are looking for sponsorship, I'll say again, Pepsi and Coke Zero.
Yeah, it's fucking lovely.
It's delicious, thank you.
And I apologise for the dog in the background if I cannot edit it out.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's unfortunately one of those things that we can't
We are
stop.
new to this and we live and learn. That's all I'm going to say.
But, anyway, as you were saying, Bray Wyatt's influence, obviously, for the Bray Wyatt character, it was brilliant. It was fucking fantastic. And it was so dark. So dark.
It's very different.
Yeah.
It's very different. It was a different type of threat.
Yeah. And then with the introduction for Sister Abigail, the Wyatt family, when all of that started coming together, I genuinely think that was a phenomenal stable. It had so much charisma, and bearing in mind, the rest of the Wyatt family said, fuck all. They said nothing, but they were there. That presence was just so intimidating.
They were an indoctrinated cult.
Yeah.
That's what they were supposed to be, and they played their roles perfectly.
Absolutely brilliantly.
One of my biggest gripes with the Wyatt family, and this was probably created from WWE more than the influence of Bray, why the fuck did they not pull the trigger and make a Sister Abigail? Why did they not? The women's revolution was taking off, and you had the opportunity to bring in someone at that point.
Yeah.
Why not do it?
There was, and I remember reading it so many times.
Liv Morgan.
No.
I heard Liv Morgan was going to be Sister Abigail.
I heard Daphne, the demon assassin.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
The late great.
Do you know
Daphne.
who I would have chosen?
Who?
This is going to be really... For anyone who knows the Indies, or remembers the Indies at the time, I would have chosen Crazy Mary Dobson.
Can't say I've ever heard.
You'd know her if I told you her name.
Right.
In WWE, you'd know who she is.
Who's that?
She's Sarah Logan.
Holy shit!
On the Indies, she played a horror character.
Fuck, that would have been brilliant.
She played a horror character that used to come in drenched in blood.
No way.
She was like a crazy psycho girl.
Oh, that would... Jesus, yeah.
She had the promo and the image to do. I was so shocked when she come in as like the Outback Jack type of character.
Yeah.
Knowing who she was.
Jesus. Yeah, that's, like I said, for the whole budget cuts, that had to be the biggest shock, was Bray Wyatt. I never saw that coming. And I'll be brutally honest, when I saw that kicking around and trending on Twitter, I thought it was a joke or a work.
I thought it was a work right up until... do you know what? Do you want my honest opinion?
Go for it.
I'm not sure it still isn't a work.
You reckon?
Because it's so shocking.
But
he hasn't gone anywhere.
He's done nothing.
That's what I'm saying. We have to remember that he was suffering with mental illness after the death of Brody Lee.
Yeah.
Right.
Who we spoke about before recording. We to be fair, we should have done it earlier. He was going to be a honourable mention for the underrated section that we did earlier. Yeah, Brody Lee was he was brilliant. So good. You know, and obviously the work that he did briefly in AEW, I loved it when he came on as the exonerated one.
If this was done 5 years ago, he would have been on my list as underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, so there's an honourable mention there to the late great Mr. Brody Lee.
Or Luke Harper.
Yes, yeah. Phenomenal wrestler there. But
there's a brilliant podcast between Jericho on Talk is Jericho with Luke Harper at the time. Okay. And not a lot of people got an insight into who he was and his life and everything like that. And he is such a nice guy. Yeah, give it a listen.
I've seen a lot of interviews with a lot of AEW stars. Mostly, they've said he had quite a reserved guy.
Yeah,
a huge family man, which shows obviously with his son being involved with AEW as -1. And I hope to God that if his son does come into the wrestling industry, to carry on, from where his father left off, good on him. And I really, really hope that he gets, the push that his dad should have got. He was brilliant. Really brilliant. Yeah, bless him.
Do you want my opinion on the budget cuts?
Go for it.
I don't disagree that the talent roster needed to be trimmed.
Right.
I do agree.
Right.
I don't agree through financial means, and I don't believe that it was because of financial means.
Yeah.
That's what insults my intelligence.
Which is ironic, where WWE just released figures saying that they grossed
they made the biggest profit they've ever... That's what I'm saying. I don't believe that it is budget cuts. I think that's the name they've given it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think the roster did need trimming. I think that it was really, really difficult for anybody to get over. Yeah. I remember talking to you about it and saying they need either another brand.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or they need to trim that down because there's so many people there.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting lost in the shuffle. You remember years ago, in going back against the 80s and 90s and 2000s, the roster weren't that many people.
No. Yeah,
but they had a focus on everybody.
Yeah.
A greater focus, at least.
Because of the lack of a big roster back then, you had development.
Yeah.
You had story development. The effort was put in, the writing team that they had, during the 80s and 90s. It was great. I mean, a prime example, the Jake Roberts and Macho Man.
That's one of my favourite rivalries.
It's phenomenal, and like you say, there wasn't a massive roster back in those days.
I think that's my argument where the territory or the territories was so important because people had a place to go. There was all different styles.
Yeah.
You had, I think it was the AWA was Minnesota.
Yeah, yes, yeah, it was, yeah.
Under Vern Gagne.
Yeah.
You had the Carolinas, which was the NWA.
Yeah.
You had Georgia Championship Wrestling back then.
Yeah.
Which was really popular.
Yeah.
Back in that day. It wasn't like the GCW you see now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else you had. You obviously had the WWF.
Yeah.
You had Houston Wrestling.
So when you look back on the amount that there actually was...
Yeah, there was loads.
Yeah.
There was loads of places you could go.
Yeah. And what have we got now?
NXT. NXT was... What I'm talking about is for development.
Yeah. In which you look at the fucking state of it now.
Yeah.
Since it's now NXT 2.0.
Well, their idea is now that is developmental.
It is.
But it's worse, isn't it? It's like...
But, it does stem from these budget cuts, or, however you want to call it. The calibre of storyline and development going from NXT when it was the black and gold brand, I will be honest, I preferred watching that than Raw or SmackDown.
I think most people did. I think it was catered to an audience of wrestling fans.
Actually,
pure
fucking
wrestling
loved
fans.
Wrestling for what it was.
The storylines were built up well.
Yeah. I mean, again...
It was well done.
You've got...
But I want to clarify this. When I say I agree, that doesn't mean I agree with who they got rid of.
Yeah, there's...
to me, it's shocking who they got rid of.
Which leads me to the next few that I will read out Should have got that.
Do you want me
right
just to
from
say?
fucking surname.
Do you want me just to say who I was shocked by who they got rid of?
Go for it, because I'm pretty sure I'm about to read one of them off.
Yeah, so Bray Wyatt, obviously.
Yep.
Most of their future, in my opinion. Karrion Kross was a bad one, I thought.
Oh.
I thought it was a terrible decision.
Him and his wife.
Yeah, they were a pair.
They were brilliant. And she, don't get me wrong, she's not she's not.
Yeah, but
fantastic,
she's meant to be a manager type person.
And she is fucking brilliant as well.
Yeah, that's what she's there for.
As a
that
comparison,
entrance was unreal.
Yeah, as a comparison for the female-led management era of the 80s and the 90s, I rate her as good as them. She is
at
is
least
up
a
there.
few of them.
Yeah,
I'd say
yeah.
there's a few that I really, really do rate. So
again, it's a continuation from some of the other names that were on that list. Now, the first one I am going to read off, I think he's got a shit gimmick and was given a shit gimmick, but I rate him as a wrestler, which is Fandango.
Yeah,
Terrible gimmick.
I think that he could have gone. What I was about to say is they got rid of they got rid of their future.
Yeah,
because
up and coming, the next generation.
Yeah, like Keith Lee, Ember Moon was a shocking one. I know she's had the injury.
Yeah, that out of all the women's ones that went, that was the one that shocked me the most.
Yeah,
that was criminal, absolutely criminal. So
people like Andrade, who maybe the gimmick wasn't that great and he lacked a bit of personality, but his technical ability was unreal.
Yeah. One of the ones two that I will list off straight away. Buddy Murphy.
I was okay with it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
I was okay with it.
We're done, that's it. Calling days on this now. Aleister Black.
That's a shocker.
Oh.
I saw him as a future world champion.
And have you seen the work he's doing with AEW now? Fucking phenomenal.
I always thought, do you remember when I booked The Fiend over Facebook with you? My final match was The Fiend versus Aleister Black. That was my final match for WrestleMania. The Fiend's run through everyone, no one could stop him, and then he come up against someone who was just as dark as him.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy. Again, as we mentioned with Ember Moon, here's another one that I was shocked that they dropped, which was Ruby Riott. I rate her.
She's okay.
I do rate her. I think she's got massive, massive potential.
I'm going to state my stance now. The older talent should have been the ones who were cut. The people who have had their opportunity and are just languishing around. Yeah. That was who I would have cut. and I would have cut it.
Sorry, lump in my throat then.
I would have cut them.
Yeah.
Because they've already had their chance and they're just taking up room. You move forwards.
Yeah, you have to.
So
to keep interest in title runs alone, and like you said, longevity more than anything else. Get your newbies coming up. Get them to work through NXT, hone their craft, bump them up as it's a shock entrant to something, or an interference or something like that. Get a bit of storyline. Take the fucking time to bring these stars up, but instead they fucking cut. Just unbelievably
people for
dumb
example
decisions.
People for example like the Lucha House Party.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, couldn't give a monkeys about that.
I know that he had the lovely story of where he did the videos saying about how grateful he was and it was emotional, but Drake Maverick for me doesn't have any place.
I'm sorry, but that was a work. I'm telling you right now, that was a fucking work.
Jake Atlas, yeah. Tyler Breeze, I
like him.
So do I.
I do like him.
I don't think he transferred from NXT to the main roster. Well, I think they tried. I'm okay with that. This is what I'm trying to say. My point is that the roster did need trimming. Yeah. And you could have just turned around and said, this is for
developmental purposes.
Developmental purposes instead of budget cuts.
Evolutionary.
Yeah, instead of budget cuts. In other words, to cut a long story short and in layman's terms, these people just ain't fucking made it, or there are people on this roster who are taking up room for potential stars.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I agree. And to an extent, his son should have been made to go through NXT.
Yeah, I've failed to understand the reason for, bumping him straight up to the main roster with his dad. Don't get me wrong, I know his dad's had he has had a damn good career. I'm not a massive fan. I used to be for his WCW, and when he first came into WWE, I was a big fan. But that gimmick, it's been done. It's stale. He has the same set moves, and I'm sorry, I just personally, I find it boring. I think he should have been on the cuts, and his son should have gone to NXT.
Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't,
I agree.
And it's not an attack on him personally. I don't think he has the right look at the moment.
He doesn't.
He
looks like a kid. He looks like a kid, and there's no believability in him at all.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what he reminds me of. He reminds me of a bad Robin from Batman. You know the way he's dressed, like a young person who's not very believable.
Yeah.
So
it's got basically a kid that's gone to a fancy dress works party as Robin.
Yeah.
Rodney Trotter.
I reckon Rodney would have more of a fucking chance. He's a lanky bastard, isn't he? But Jackson Riker, I'm okay with a lot of the people on your list.
All I've got in my head is Rodney Trotter chinning Dominic Mysterio.
I've fucking paid to see it, mate. Yeah, a lot of people on your list are bigger names. There's a few of them on there that I would cut.
I went for when I was writing this list down. There are a lot of names that I've missed off. I think in total there was something like 80 to 90 names that have been cut over the last sort of 18 months. Yeah, and what I've done is gone for the bigger ones.
I'm just refreshing myself on who did get cut. But a lot of the other ones which are not here, I totally agree with. I don't think they made an impact, and I think they could have gone.
But then this could also segue over to as well. So the talent that has left, that wasn't dropped, that ended their contracts and went, do you know what? I think we're done. And I still think the biggest shock of that one was Adam Cole, baby.
I just don't think they knew what to do with him.
Which is fucking, that's terrible.
I know.
He's
what can you say?
I mean, and I know now, obviously, I don't know if you're up to date with AEW.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right. He's going for the title now.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
It's him and Paige.
Okay, I didn't know that. I wasn't sold on what he was doing with... I don't like Orange Cassidy.
No.
I don't like the gimmick. I think it's crap. I'll be honest with you.
Do you want to know the only decent thing that I've enjoyed?
But when you having a feud with him? Or some sort of weird...
Which leads me to my two happiest fucking moments of AEW recently. And I know you're not going to be a massive fan of it because you don't really... I think you stated you don't rate him as a wrestler, more as a character and a persona. But it brought in... And I'm not going to lie, it's my favourite thing in wrestling right now, which is Danhausen.
I love Danhausen.
I fucking love him. I think he's a massive, massive breath of fresh air.
I think he's a booker's nightmare.
Yes, because what the fuck do you do with that character?
As a wrestler, that's my issue. So, as a personality, I think he's amazing.
He's phenomenal. So, for those of you that aren't aware, Danhausen is what I would call I personally think he's a very, very talented wrestler. I've checked out a lot of his stuff before he started donning the face paint when he was wrestling under Donovan Danhausen.
Yeah.
I rate him massively.
I've seen him.
But as to look at now, he's very, what I would call vaudevillain, 1920s, 1930s, like horror character.
His makeup is based off The Exorcist. You know the horror...
Yeah. The actual,
I don't know what they call that fucking face.
Zazu. It's something like that.
Yeah.
But I fucking love it. And it is...
I do, but here's the problem. How the fuck do you seriously book that?
Oh, where'd you go with it?
If you're gonna do something with him, what do you do? How'd you book it? Who'd you put him against?
So, also, for those of you who aren't aware, obviously Danhausen has, I think, one of the best Twitter feeds, or just social media feeds in general, to do with professional wrestling. His trolling of the Gun Club.
The Arse Boys.
The Ass Boys. I think is fucking brilliant.
He's amazing. You won't get any arguments off anyone as in terms of him as a personality. My issue is me sitting with a pen and a piece of paper trying to work out what I'm gonna do with him.
I will 100% agree with you on that one. But I was looking at him statistically because they obviously go by popularity on AEW's website. And the last time that I checked, he was like number 2 or number 3 on the most popular list, and he hasn't had a fucking match. I'm pretty sure he was below Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, my whole point though on why he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Because I think as a manager or as some sort of personality, like maybe an interviewer, put it this way, imagine like he's just hanging about round backstage and no one wants anything to fucking do with him. Like a bit like how he is on his YouTube channel.
Oh,
right. And there's an interview going on, like a serious interview, backstage interview, and he pushes, like, say, the girl announcer out of the way and goes, "Hello, Danhausen," like that.
That's the best impression of
that would work. Fuck. Everyone would love that shit.
But it's the same as his two entrances so far that he's had. I mean, the first appearance he got was Orange Cassidy against Adam Cole, and Adam Cole went under the ring to pull out a chair, and the chair wouldn't move. Pulled it out, and lo and behold, Danhausen gets pulled out, still holding the chair, and puts a curse on Adam Cole. The crowd reaction to that, I thought, was better than the crowd reaction when Punk returned.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was funny as fuck, but
brilliant.
It was weird in a good way as a debut, but constantly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I would do with him.
A week or 2 weeks later, he borderline did the same with. It was Cassidy had crawled under the ring after getting super kicked by the Young Bucks, and the little half-assed thumbs up came out from under the ring. They pulled, the Young Bucks pulled out the pulled a hold of the hand and pulled him back out from under the ring. And again, it was Danhausen. Chris Jericho, I'm going to say straight away, fantastically sold that by screaming, don't piss him off, they put a curse on you. And he did straight away. Fucking brilliant. But going back to the original subject of the budget cuts, you got to look at AEW now and say, fuck me, they've benefited from these budget cuts. But let's not take it too far. Yeah. Let's not sign every single individual. Exactly.
WWE get rid of.
Yeah. And then leads back to the problem that you stated before of having too much talent on a roster.
This was where I was okay.
Yeah.
With trimming the roster. Calling it budget cuts is my issue.
It's like you said, it's an insult to your intelligence.
Yeah.
It is fucking insulting. But it's also, if you're leading the general public and the fans more than anything else to believe, to go down a line of saying this is budget cuts, and then you looking at some of the biggest names on there, and at the time, Bray Wyatt was the guy.
Yeah, he was.
After he got fucking buried.
I'm not sure they knew what the hell to do.
Which is fucking crazy because his creative mind to come up with a character like that, not just the Fiend, but to put the character Bray Wyatt.
I loved him. I thought he was great.
But, the whole Firefly Funhouse I thought was fucking creepier than the Fiend.
He was done, and I remember saying this to you. Yeah, I don't think they knew what to do with him. I think he was snake bit.
Yeah.
From the second that they booked the Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins. They pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I think that is the worst Hell in a Cell match I've ever seen.
I think it was the booking. They put him up against the world champion straight away and they put him in there as a heel. and he wasn't a heel.
From the day that he came back, he was never going to be a heel.
Yeah, and it turned Seth.
Yeah.
It impacted Seth because the match was just a joke.
Oh, no.
I think he stomped him 30 times.
Yeah, and to stop it because of use of chairs.
Yeah,
it's a hell in a cell, for fuck's sake.
It's terrible booking. That made no sense. There was nothing that was going to happen, but that was going to go wrong.
Yeah. Oh,
because the Fiend is either going to win the title.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Which is the easiest way to go.
Yeah.
If you decide to do that, which they shouldn't have, because they should have built it.
Yeah.
Or you have some stupid smoz finish, which they tried to do, which was atrocious.
Yep.
Or you incite the crowd further by having Seth go over, and then people shit on it. So it was ridiculous.
Yeah. But we can quite honestly say that the worst decision out of all of these budget cuts or whatever you want to call them is, to put a final analysis on it, is Bray Wyatt and Keith Lee.
I think Karrion Kross is there.
Yeah.
But just a small thing on my point of view. Why not Tamina? Why not Natalia? What
I'm going to go on a record here. So why not Charlotte Flair?
I think she's an argument. If it's supposed budget cuts, I don't see where she can really go from here.
She's done it all. She's won it all, and quite frankly, I find her.
Also, her attitude stinks, from what I've heard.
I've read quite a few articles now and a lot of things online as well that she's not very well liked backstage. She believes her own hype.
Bit like her dad.
Less said about him, the better. But
that'll be controversial.
That could lead to a whole new topic as well, which, funnily enough, brings us to our topics for our next episode.
And it's your pick.
It is indeed. So, let me go back to my notes quickly. So, on our next episode in 4 weeks' time, my topics are...
Now, let me just stop you 1 second.
Go for it.
That's WrestleMania.
Ooh. Should we do it the week before then?
But I'm talking about, is our topics going to be based on WrestleMania? Or should we go with the ones that we've got? Because WrestleMania is such a big event.
I'll tell you what, I'll change my second one then. So, the first topic for our top three will be top 3 overrated wrestlers this time.
Easy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an easy topic, and I genuinely can't wait to see what the feedback from social media.
There's going to be some real.
Oh yeah, I think we could end up having arguments on social media here. But great, that's what
Well, I don't mind.
Each to their own.
I won't have arguments in there because I'll just block fuckers. Yeah. But no, I will. If people want to argue, I don't mind differences of opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But
that's fine.
Please don't go personal on each other on this one. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, right or wrong. Doesn't really matter. It's just an opinion. This is all for shits and giggles.
Yes, it's for fun. I don't need anyone's opinion that their shit don't stink and all this bollocks.
So just to recap, that is our next topic is our top 3 overrated wrestlers. And seeing as though you've just mentioned with the whole WrestleMania thing, I'm going to change the second topic, which was going to be best returns. So because we're going to change it now, coincide with WrestleMania, we will put our second topic of best WrestleMania moments.
Yeah, and that includes promos, returns, matches. There's so many special things about WrestleMania. You can go anywhere.
It's the pinnacle moment of WWE pay-per-views, so why not? We'll go all out for this one. We'll go for our best WrestleMania moment. We'll also be debating over the WrestleMania itself and WrestleMania pay-per-view and the possibilities of current topic, the Forbidden Door.
Okay.
So we shall see you all again in 4 weeks' time. Thanks again for tuning in and taking the time out to get involved with the podcast. As we said earlier, it does mean a hell of a lot that you're actually taking a few minutes out of your day just to leave a comment, a like. Please keep sharing. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All of it. Absolutely all of it. Keep doing what you're doing. We really do appreciate the time of day that you help us out with.
Absolutely love your guys' opinions and contributions. I can't start enough how grateful we are.
Yeah, I mean, the feedback and the views that we got alone on the full episode that we posted onto YouTube, I was very, very shocked to see it go and high so quickly.
It's just become a really nice, at the moment, small community.
Yeah.
But it's a very unified community. It's really nice at the moment. I really, really like that dynamic.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that more than being like, oh, we've got like 200,000 fucking views and all that.
If we ever got 200,000, God,
but do you know what? Do you know what I mean? I like the interaction and I like the community. You know, I like to know the community.
Yeah.
So,
and it's I don't know, as I stated a few seconds ago. I mean, it really does mean a lot. You know, this was just a bit of an idea for a bit of fun that we thought of, and it really does mean the world to us that people are actually taking the time out of their day to listen to us talk shit for a couple of hours. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. So I think we'll sign off.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we will see you hopefully before WrestleMania.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thanks a lot again, guys. Take care. Laters.